my name is Kate. I've been tapping for about 2 years now with Casey, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my experience.
So what was life like before we started tapping?
Before we started tapping, I was struggling with anxiety and depression, and I had panic attacks like 3 times a week, and like physical pain like in my back and chest a lot of the times. And it was really hard for me to like do things at school, like get up and present in front of a class, or sometimes just talking to friends was a lot.
And how has EFT tapping helped you with those things now? Like, what's life like now?
Now, I don't know when the last time I've had a panic attack is.
Yay!
And I consider myself to be a very happy person now, and I'm able to talk to my friends without any sort of stress or any anxiety. Presentations in school don't bother me, and I don't feel the need to stress over them anymore.
That's awesome. How would you kind of describe EFT? Because it's hard to always define it, and especially to other teenagers. Like, how would you kind of describe what EFT tapping does for you or your body? Like, if someone's like, hey, what is that? Why are you tapping in your face? Like, what's your response?
For me, tapping is just really like, it helps you to relax and to be kind of in the moment, but also aware of what's going on, not only just in your brain, but also in your body, like where you're tense or where things hurt or how they feel that you generally wouldn't notice in just like your daily life. And I think it has helped me with like mindfulness and just being aware of myself and how I'm affecting the people around me, and also like myself, what I do affects me.
That's beautiful. And what do you kind of want people to know about EFT? Like, obviously, we've talked a little bit about how I feel like teenagers today are really struggling with overstimulation and this depression, anxiety, and even suicide. Like, the rates of that are really high right now. What do you think, like, people should know, or why should they give EFT a try?
It definitely seems weird at first.
Yes, it does.
But for me, it just worked, and it's a place to start where you feel like you're doing something, and you don't have to go and see someone for it, you know. It's something you can do on your own, and so it feels good to know that like you don't have to rely on anyone, that you can do it yourself, and that like you are capable and strong enough to help yourself and to do things on your own.
Amazing. And talk a little bit about the difference between like doing it on your own versus like when we have sessions. Like, what does that feel like for you?
When I do it on my own, sometimes it's harder to fully relax, but if I, diffuse some essential oils or something,
Yeah.
it definitely helps. And it's definitely a good feeling knowing that I like can do it on my own, obviously. When I do it like in sessions, it lasts longer, and it forces me to think a little bit more like deeply, and also to get like kind of a second thought on what's going on in my brain, that like some of the things that are going on, they're just normal, and it's just your body trying to protect you. And that's also helpful to know that like I'm not like I'm okay.
Right. And we've talked a little bit about, and you've experienced this, where memories sometimes pop up. Talk a little bit about the weirdness of that with EFT, because people might start doing this and that might happen for them. And so just to kind of expand on that a little bit.
So also like going back to doing it on my own, when memories do pop up when I'm like tapping by myself, it can be like harder to figure out why those memories pop up. But generally, if I keep doing it, then I can figure it out, and that's also a really cool experience. But it's definitely like weird because your brain is in a very different state, and so is your body. It's almost like meditative, I would say. And things will come forward that seem like they don't make any sense. Sometimes like colors or like experiences from when I was really little that don't seem significant in any way. But then it turns out they actually are, or that your brain is holding on to it for a reason, and that like that reason is okay, but you don't have to hold on to it. And EFT helps you kind of release the emotions that would be tied into that memory.
Yeah, and you're going into psychology, which is awesome, which is why you know so much about this, and possibly studying that in college, which is pretty amazing. Is there anything else that you want to add to, people that are watching and are like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know about this EFT stuff, this is so weird, or just anything at all, encouraging words for it?
So before EFT, I did try just like traditional normal therapy, and I personally like felt like it didn't do anything. But I know it helps some people, and I think that's great, but for me personally, it didn't work. So it was a very like hopeless feeling, thinking, well, this is it. Like after just trying therapy, like that's all you have. But realizing that there's EFT and that there's other things out there that I can do. Definitely after my first EFT session, I felt hopeful that like I can do it, and it's not impossible. And there's more ways to cope than just therapy.
Yeah, and you can also, I just want to add too, you can use tapping in conjunction with therapy as well, right? Which we started off doing, right? Yeah.
I did that for a while, and then preferred EFT a lot more.
That
so
happens
we just
sometimes. Anything else?
You want me to say?
No, I think you've done an amazing job. So thank you. You rocked it. Of course you did.